Alright. Wait for some people to get in here. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. Wait for some of y'all to come on in here for this new moon energy. Get some of this wisdom. Get some of this info. And how it can apply to your life. And just things to look out for. So y'all get on up in here. So we can get into it. New moon. New moon in Leo. New moon in Leo. And it's about how much confidence we have in the situation. And y'all can go back and watch this because I'm not going to be long. But it's definitely talking about how much confidence you have. And this is what's going to get you through your entire Leo season. And talking about your passions. And it's talking about loyalty. And it's talking about honor. And it's talking about your relationships with your friends and with people. And changes that could come in your life throughout the month. So this new moon is for us to all start fresh and start new. And all the Leos, get in here. And all the Aquariuses, jump in here. Okay, if this is your ascendant, your moon sign, sun sign, get in here. Okay, this is very important. If this is your ascendant, this is dealing with the way you're seeing the world. This is talking about the level of excitement you have about the next phase in your life. For it to be your moon, this is that festivity, that party, that excitement, that inner excitement that all Leos have. And this is really exuding it and having confidence in your expressions. And this is talking about your creativity. This is talking about our children, our personal interests, anybody that you're dating. This is also talking about your overall magnet of your life. So all of this is also talking about your solar plexus chakra. Okay, what we attract into our life and what gives us energy and what we put our energy and our light into. How do we feed our light? All of that is talking about Leo. All right, so how much energy you have towards something, how much focus you're putting towards things that get you excited. All of that is Leo. All of that is just talking about things we all need to pay attention to as well. Paying attention to our expressions and trying to use them at our highest self. And trying to use them to create some type of change in our life and not, I would say, to avoid mistakes that could take place this month. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love, David. Peace and love, Steve. Peace and love, Tizzy. Oh, hey, Tam. Peace and love, Sada. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love, peace and love. I know I'm late. I know I said 7 o'clock, but I was on the phone, and I had to charge my phone up a little bit. So I know some people was already expecting me at 7. Time's not real anyway. It was just to get your attention in the 7 o'clock hour. But all is well. So yeah, wherever you have Leo at in your chart, this is a time for you to really get some things started. And like I say, it's talking about starting over and new beginnings because it's a new moon. So the moon is new. The moon is fresh. This is, I always say, a time where you can do your grocery list towards the universe and towards the moon as far as your rituals and things that you want, things you want to manifest. When the moon starts to wax is when you want to start writing your rituals or things that you want to see happen, things that you actually want to touch, people that you want to meet, people that you might want to be back in touch with because that retrograde is over now. So a lot of us have gotten back in touch with people. A lot of us want to get back in touch with people. A lot of us, like I say, is dealing with people of attraction. So people that we're attracted to, relationships that we want to start, all of that, things that get us excited as far as, like I say, your passions. This goes back to children. A lot of people might be finding out they're pregnant, things like that. All of that is talking about the Leo. Okay, Leo is the superstar of the zodiac. So Leo is talking about where you get the most attention as far as your personality, where you are the most creative and expressive as far as your words, how artistic you are, how unique you are, how much you stand out in the crowd. You know what I mean? Because Aquarius is standing out from the crowd, but also finding like persons in the crowd that are like you. So Aquarius are all about individuality. When the reason why I'm bringing that up because it's the opposing sign of Leo, but Aquarius are individual within a group. a lot of times, and being able to stand out, them and a lot of other people. That's why they deal with groups, organizations, clubs, things like that, because it's talking about I'm different, or I'm weird, or I think differently, or I have a unique way of seeing things. And so Aquarius is more so connecting to other people. Leo is more about that self. Leo is more about the sun. They're more about that, I would say, the spotlight. They're more so standing on stage. They're more so about themselves, getting the light on them. And they also give light in their highest self. So Leo is all about having that microphone, and Leo is also about, inspiring somebody else to pass the microphone at some point. And I say the microphone because they can be very loud. And I say that because their expressions touch the sun. Not higher than everybody else's, but Leo sun signs, and Leo moon signs, okay? Especially during this time, your expressions, the sun can hear you a whole lot more. Your mic is on, okay? Your mic is always on. But like I say, as we go through each season, the sun is in that constellation. The sun is spending the most time on that sign. So that's why I say the mic right now is in the natural spot of Leo. The sun rules Leo. So like I say, this is dealing with a lot of drama, a lot of excitement, a lot of partying, a lot of all of those things. It's dealing with the sun. So this is dealing with us being out and being outward with our energy. This is all of that. But on the flip side of it, going back to the Aquarius, you're talking about differences. You're talking about where you're going to run into people who try to oppose you. Aquarius at their lowest self is the rebelliousness of it all. The rebellious person, the person who's going against, the person who's trying too hard to stand out, the person who's going on purpose, purposely going against the what's happening, and so you want to be mindful of that as you get your attention, as whatever it is that you're doing and you're trying to shine. There's always somebody that's going to try to go against what you're doing, which we call them haters, we call them, all of that. But the thing is, it lets you know how much heart you have when you are opposed with people who disagree with you, people who stand against you, people who try to take you out or embarrass you. All of those things, it tells you how loyal you are to what you're doing, how much confidence you have. I apologize. How much, this is also just a way you measure your self-esteem is also through Leo. So wherever you have it at in your chart is just showing where you have the most courage at, where you ain't a punk at, where you beep your horn in life in these spiritual streets, where you just not afraid to speak your truth, because Leo is talking about being able to... Anyway, being able to stand up against something with courage, because mind you, it's a fixed sign. So that's why they're standing as something is coming at them. Aries is a fire sign, but Aries is a starter sign. They initiate things. So a lot of times Aries is coming at you, or Aries is, like I say, they move first. Leo, you move first, but they have to, like I say, it measures their heart, how much bravery they have, how much courage they have when they can stand still when something is coming at them. So this is going back to the lion and all of that. And they say to measure your fear, which I don't think anybody's ever done it. They say walk up right up to the lion, and the lion will respect you. I don't know who's trying that, but it's just an old thing that people say, old antidote that people say, pretty much talking about your fear and walking up to things that normally would scare you, normally things that would, you wouldn't want to do. All of it's still going back to stage fright. Leo represents the stage. So wherever you're scared at, wherever you would be scared to go on stage, wherever you're not prepared at, if you're a singer, if you do this or do that, wherever somebody asks you to do it on the spot and you can do it, that's a part of your gift and your ability and all of that. But anywhere where you get stage fright in life, and you're scared to move, you're scared to make the next step, you don't have enough confidence in yourself and what you're doing, this is where the law of attraction comes in. And this is where you attract the mistakes and the accidents and things that don't go in your favor because you don't have enough confidence or faith in what it is that you're doing. And that goes back to your love interest, your children, and all of those things. So that goes back to your level of faith you have in your relationship with the sun. The sun is very faithful and the sun is very loyal. And so that goes back to our Christ, your conscience, your mind. And that's why it's very important to go out and get sun every day, because that is a part of your spiritual diet, to take in the sun, to take in deep breaths of air, to also drink water and eat of the earth. And so that is a part of your spiritual diet, is to take in the sun. And that is something you can take in. And that also, like I say, it has a lot to do with your mind. It has a lot to do with your health. It has a lot to do with the decisions that you make. So you want to be able to be out and get some of that light. You want to be able to grow. You want to be able to have everything that you need. And that's why the more time you spend in the sun, the more you are comfortable, around other people. The more you enjoy yourself, the more you can have other people enjoy you. But when you don't enjoy yourself, other people can smell that. Other people can tell. So that's why confidence is everything. Self-esteem is everything. You have to have self-esteem because you have to drive yourself. And so that's why, self-esteem. You have to, and so you have to be able to put yourself on. And a lot of times, a lot of people depend on other people. And I always say, if you make a name for yourself, you attract other people. And other people want to build with you. Other people want to invest in you. Other people want to fellowship with you. You have to make yourself valuable. And I always say, come up with your own ideas and then share them with the crowd. Because Leo is low itself, just like Aquarius. Leo can be a copycat, which is dealing with the cat. So anybody who's actually had a cat or been around a cat, a cat will copy and imitate everything you do. The way you eat. I have a cat. My cat tries to get on the toilet. The cats try to do everything that you do. So when a cat isn't inspired, okay, when they're being lazy even, I would say, at lowest self, they would just copy what somebody else is doing and imitate somebody else. And higher self, Leos are always being unique. You Leos are always being different. They always a part of being the trend setting because they also is aligned with Aquarius, which is the trend setter, the game changer, the person who's coming on the scene and doing everything different. So when the Leo part of yourself can align properly and, in fellowship and go through the crowd properly of Aquarius, this is where you're aligned. This is when you're in the right place at the right time with the right people. When things are going in your favor, when your people are being receptive to you and your ideas, when people are being receptive to the things that you're saying, this is when you're in the right place. And I always say you have to learn how to clear a room. And a lot of people are scared to clear a room. And I always say to clear a room is to be true to yourself. Even if the room ends up being clear and there's nobody but you left. You want to know how to clear a room, and you need to be able to clear a room when you're standing on your truth. And it's not that you want to clear a room. You want to know who's with you and who's against you. So that's why Leo goes back to your faith. It goes back to your truth. It goes back to how you express yourself and not being afraid of it. And a lot of people are scared to clear the room. A lot of people love being in a room full of other people because a lot of people are followers. And a lot of people seek validation from other people. And so when you don't seek validation from other people, more people want to be around you actually. The thing is, anybody who doesn't do the things you do, because you are what you seek, all right, and you are what you speak. People who don't are not aligned with themselves. Peace and love, Craig. Peace and love, Razul. Peace and love, Andre. Peace and love, Amaru. Peace and love, Mona. Musin, Shanta Hayes. Peace and love, Janella. Peace and love, everybody. I apologize. I just be going. Peace and love, y'all. All is well. But I forgot what I was saying. When people don't what was I talking about? I don't remember. Okay. As you're going through the crowd, I think this is what I was saying. When you don't have confidence in what you're doing, it takes away from it as you're going through the crowd. So people trust you more when you trust yourself. And I was saying clear the room. And a lot of us don't have confidence to clear the room. But sometimes some people, that's their biggest fear, is to clear the room. I don't want to say anything to make anybody leave. I ain't trying to step on no toes. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. And we have to understand, if that's not your intent, then say whatever you have to say. It's the difference if that's your intent. Then yeah, you're going to clear the room and you're going to get cussed out. Okay, but if you're speaking your truth and it's nothing personal and you're just saying what needs to be said, or if that's what your truth is and you clear a room, you need to know that. You need to know who's for you and who's against you. Like I say, even if it's just you, even if it's simply just your covenant and contract with the divine, even if it's just yourself We need to know that. And so this is a time too where a lot of people are going to be finding out about enemies. A lot of people too dealing with Leo, a lot of things are going to be expressed or revealed, because you have to remember the sun is in a place that it ain't been all year. So a lot of times now people are expressing things. And this could cause a lot of breakups, a lot of hiring, a lot of firing, breakups, makeups, and all of that, because it goes back to what we do and what we say and what we express can either bring people closer to us or separate people from us. And so that's why this new moon in Leo is starting fresh and starting over with the things that we say and the things that we do, because all Cancer season, y'all, everybody was dealing with their emotions. Everybody was dealing with family, and everybody was dealing with their boundaries and being able to operate using their boundaries and being able to know, who is for you and who's against you as far as trusting yourself on the inner work. Leo is trusting yourself on the outer work, what you actually see with your eyes and what you feel in your heart. And so that's why it's something, especially when it comes to your truth, it's something that you can't keep in. So that's why it goes back to your personal interests. Somebody that you love, somebody that you're completely interested in, all of those things. This is a time people are going to be expressing that and letting you know, hey, I want to be more than friends. Hey, I like you like that. Or however, the inboxes, all of that is going to be the Leo stuff, because people are going to be saying how they feel. Also going back to saying how they feel on I would say even on a negative level, arguments or whatever, which is why at lower self, Leo is the drama of it all. So people, like I said, are still going to be expressing themselves, and it might be something that they've been holding in for a while. So that also goes back to the risk or the mistake of it all, something that's being said or expressed or let out and being exposed that can make some people very uncomfortable. So goes back to whatever your truth is, live in it, and you don't have to remember anything, because you can stand up a whole lot quicker when you're telling the truth. I always say that, because when you're telling a lie, you're always lying. You're always lying around. It's harder for you to stand up. It takes you longer to stand up because there's nothing for you to stand on. And so when you have the truth, it's easy for you to get on your feet. It's easy for you to stand on your feet. You never lay down. All is well. And so Leo is all about that. Like I say, things that are coming out that people don't want to discuss, this is a time to be open to change and be open to things that can go wrong. And that's why it goes back to the level of confidence that you have going through certain situations, because you're either going to be a game changer and you're going to make things work for you, or the universe is going to create situations and it's going to feel like they're working against you. So if you're good at creating a good remix in your life, this is a time to create that remix. Peace and love, Corey. Peace and love, everybody. Aquarius is all about the remix of it all. And like I say, Leo is a superstar dancing to the remix. Okay, so right now some changes, like I say, are going to take place. You got to be able to move to the beat of the remix. You thought you knew the words change and the beat drop different with the remix, which is why Aquariuses are our remix. These are, like I say, our trendsetters, our game changers, our people that are just out there and different, and they have to get a hold of themselves, which we all do, about wherever you felt weird or different throughout your life, because this is a time for you to make that something new. Let that be the new thing. If you got a gap, if you got moles, whatever it is that you just could not live with that makes you uncomfortable throughout your whole life, this is the time to make it the new style. Okay, this is the time to play it off and make it like you meant to do it. Okay, because the universe meant to do it. The way you were created, it was meant to be like that. And we have to understand that we are all perfect. We are just not without flaws. And when I say perfect, we were all born in our totality. So this will help you to be more comfortable with yourself. You you have plastic surgery and all of that out here. You even have mental surgery where you can talk to a psychologist or however, get a reading. You can move stuff around, yeah. But the thing is, you were born the way you were born. And how you are, you were done. You were a finished product when you came out, because that is what your creator said. Your arms weren't too short, that your eyes wasn't too big. Everything about you is just right. So now you're just trying to maintain the rightness of yourself. And now you have to understand that sometimes you're going to fall. And so when you fall, you have to understand that it wasn't really a fall. It's a choice. Everything is subjective. Was it really a fall? Or was you just bending down to get something? That's what the Aquarius is. Don't nobody know but you. You don't have to tell nobody it was a mistake. So this is where you play things off. This is how you get things to go your way. And this is why when you take a risk, the more confidence you have, the more things that actually play out in your favor. So you got to think about that. Peace and love. Thank you. I appreciate that. But you got to think about that, though, you guys. And so new friends. All right, being more social. Everybody's going to be being more social. Everybody's going to be meeting new people, or this is a great time to. So if you're not in a situation where you would, I would say maybe more people are going to be on social media more. So even if you're not meeting people first face to face, this is a good time to be involved and meeting new people and changing things up and going to another floor. In the building of your life, go to another floor, to another level, meet new people, do something different. And this is the time to do that. And this is the time to meet up and link up with like-minded individuals so you can have your shine. And even if you don't want the shine, this is the time for you to, give somebody else your ideas so they can take it on the road. This is the time to be in the back, of what somebody else is doing, to back it. Because that's the Aquarius energy is behind whatever Leo is doing. And I always say Aquarius is the audience, Aquarius is the crowd, but Leo is the superstar. And so this is a time for you to come out and be the superstar, your own superstar, or I would say help somebody else do what they do. Aquarius energy a lot of times is more of a shy energy. Not all the time, but a lot of times it's more of the shy energy with intellect. Leo is not saying they're dumb, but Leo is more of the in front of the camera energy. So that's why I say Aquarius is the producer, Leo is the star, Leo is the singer of it all. Leo is the one, thanking everybody for the awards, but Aquarius, is the one on the list, the first one they say thank you to, because Aquarius is the one that was in, I would say the back scenes of everything that the Leo is doing. So that's why I say Leos are actually very intelligent. They're driven by like a robot. They're very intelligent. They think about the real pretty smart girl in school, but she's actually really, really smart, and like she's an intellect too. So she's pretty and she's smart. You get what I'm saying? It's more to it. And a lot of people don't give Leos enough credit that they're intelligent, and that they're smart. A lot of people think they're just all mouth, all drama, all lights, camera, action, and they are. They are. But they really are some dope people once they move through the crowd and once they get in touch with themselves. Because like I say, if think about it, if they're at their higher self, if they're the superstar, at their lower self, they need to be inspired by one, right? And at their lower self, if they're at their higher self and they're the superstar, they have to at some point go through the crowd to be more relatable. So that's why I say that's the Aquarius of it all. But so you got to at some point, do a little stage dive. You got to do a little dive into the crowd so people can trust you, people can touch you, they know that it's real, which is why sometimes Leos can come off very superficial and fake and phony. You got to hold hands with your audience. You got to let us know you're real. You got to let us know that you're real and you're not pretentious and you just don't want the attention. And that's why a lot of Leos get the bad rep, because they only show that part of themselves, but they do have another part of them. They do have another side to them. It just depends on who you are, and they'll be more vulnerable. But you got to think about a lion. They're not going to just be vulnerable around anybody. They don't know if you're seeking them out, if you're hunting them. That goes back to, they don't know if you're about to copy them or take from them or anything. And Leos don't want nothing blocking their light, because they are the light, so they don't need nothing in their way. Okay, and so that's why they have to make sure that you on their side and making sure that, y'all on the up and up before they can just trust you. Be mindful too, because Leo deals with the heart. So that's why trust, honesty, and loyalty is such a big deal for Leos. Going back to the lion, you got to think about the pride. Okay, you got to think about loyalty, and they'll fight for you, and they'll ride for you. And when one eat, everybody eat. That whole deal, right? And that also goes back to the loyalty of it all. Leos can't stand when somebody's not being loyal to them. They're very loyal, not all the time. And lower self, they ain't. We talking about the higher self. Because like I said, it goes back to the sun. The sun comes every day. It's a fact. Every day the sun is going to be here. And so that goes back to the sun and the moon being like our parents. Okay, because Leo also aligns with the fifth day of creation, but it's also talking about the fifth commandment of honor thy father and thy mother, right? When your days will be long. And our father and our mother, I always say, is the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon. Your mother and your father that you came through, you came through. You didn't come from them, you came through them. The sun and the moon is your mother and your father. You have to honor the timing that they're here during the day and during the night. And so this is why your days are longer, because the fourth day of creation brought what? It brought the sun, the moon, the stars, in creation, and pretty much our calendar and our foundation. So now you have to honor a light. There was a bigger light, there was a bright light, and there was a smaller light. right? So we have to honor that. And it leads our way during the day and at night. So this is why they both get their time, the sun and the moon. Mama has her shift, Daddy has his shift. And this is why Daddy goes to work first thing in the morning, right? Okay, so when Daddy gets home, Mama's on her shift. Mama takes care of the house while everybody's resting, which is the moon. So you have to honor the cycles of the sun and the moon for your days to be long. That don't mean disrespect your mama and your daddy. That's just it still goes back to that as well. But it's pretty much saying honor your time here under the sun and under the moon, and measure your time here and move accordingly. Okay, and you take whatever you can. So however, I know some people don't read from the Bible. I apply everything because I want to be able to get the language out to everybody. So some people speak the language of just through the Bible or through the Quran or however. So I want to make sure that I'm aligning what I'm saying with everybody and their way of belief. So this is, pack your bags properly. Because some people just be like, that ain't me. Well, fine. Pack your bags properly. Just take in what works for you, I would say, when it comes to the conversation. But now let's talk about your children, okay? Anybody that has children, this is a really good time dealing with your children to spend time with them. And it's not that you don't. This is to really use your inner child, which is Leo. Because Leo rules also the fifth house. The fifth house is talking about children, your inner child, being artistic, being fun, being colorful, and all of that. So even somebody who doesn't have children, this is a good time to spend time with children. This is a good time to feel alive and be around children. A child is a person of life, okay? Because there's different type of people in your chart that you're going to meet throughout your life. And right now we're talking about children. We're talking about our inner child. And like I say, things that really wake us up. And like what wakes you up is the sun, right? And so that's why we're saying at our solar plexus chakra, what really wakes me up? What makes me happy to get up every morning? What is something that helps me to really just thrive? What is something that I'm excited to do all the time? Who is somebody that I'm excited to be around? All of that. And so, like I say, some people might be falling in love. Well, hopefully you're rising in love all this month. Because it's who am I attracted to? Okay? And who do I attract? And this also is going to show you a lot about yourself, okay? So when I say when we meet people in life, these are not just people. There are no strange happenings. These are situations that needed to happen, and this energy returning itself based off of whatever your credit score is in life. If you have a bad credit score, this is why Leo season or whatever season, wherever you are in life, and retrogrades and all of that seem for some people that is not going in their favor. Wherever you are in life, and this is why you have to know when you're aligned. If all through Leo season, I apologize, if nothing is going in your favor and you're not attracting the right things and things are not going, things that seem to go against you. And like I said, you keep running into disasters and chaos, right? That shows you're not in alignment. And this is how you get to check your vehicle. Okay, when you start hearing sounds in your vehicle or things are happening around your vehicle or on your journey in life, and it just seems like it's taking forever to get to your destination, sometimes your music is up too loud, Leo. So that's why in your vehicle, Leo represents the music. Your music, it also represents your horn. And sometimes some of us are not cautious, and sometimes we blow our horn at the wrong time. We blow our horn because we're speaking to our friends, but you're making another driver think that it's something serious going on. So this is why I say the way we express ourselves, Leo is talking about being loud, but Leo is also talking about amusement parks and, like I said, places of life and people of life. So places where that's going to make your heart beat fast because it's dealing with the heart. That's what I wanted to get into, the heart, the body. I'm going to get into that in a second. But it's talking about things that get you excited, and it's talking about the heart and all of that. And so anywhere that's going to make you scream, concerts, all of that is Leo season. Concerts, getting on a roller coaster, anything that's going to make you really use your body and push air from your solar plexus chakra, all of that, going to the club, all of that where you yelling, screaming, having a good time, celebrating, partying, all of that is Leo. Anything that creates that feeling within you, you want that. You want that. And like I said, we're in our solar plexus chakra now because when we were in Cancer season, we were talking about our sacral chakra. So we were talking about resting, and we were talking about starting over and regenerating and where we feel comfortable. And we were talking about dieting and making sure we get everything off of our stomach so we can trust our stomach with what's happening around us. So all of that was Cancer season, but now the energy is moving up to our heart and to our chest and all of that. And so now we're saying, hey, What makes you feel good? What makes you feel like you're going to thrive? I'll say, okay, because the sun, the day of the sun is Sunday, right? So the day of the sun goes back to our calendar and our days. The day of the sun, it rules the plants, all right, and the seeds and the herbs and the trees and all of those things. So the day of the sun is talking about pretty much growth and maintenance and all of that. That goes back to the sun was created on the fourth day. The sun created on the fourth day is to maintain the fruit and the seeds and the trees and all of that. Why? Because the plants and all of that was created on the third day, meaning they don't need sun to live. They need sun to be maintained. They need the Venus to live, because Venus, like I say, is the morning star, and Venus is that dew in the morning right before the sun comes out, and that wetness is what feeds the stars and what feeds the plants and what feeds the trees and all of those things. So there's a difference. The sun maintains the plants. They maintain our life, but that is not our source of food, okay? And so it's a difference, and so that's why I say that's a day to feed the body. And this is why a lot of times a lot of people do their yoga and things on Sundays. A lot of people do a lot of their spiritual things on Sundays. It doesn't mean that that's the day of those things. A lot of people use that day because it is the day of the sun, and it's the day that you're putting the most attention on your body, and like I say, on your to maintain things and keep things going, and to maintain the life and to keep on the rhythm of life. And so that's what Leo is for. When you go to the heart, like I say, this goes back to the drama, overexerting yourself, which is what a lot of Leos do, which is why any sign, whatever your sign is, that's going to be the best part of you, and that's going to be the worst part of you, okay? Leos, the best part of them is their heart, all right? The worst part of them is their heart, all right? And the reason why, because they use their heart so much. They're very loving, they're very giving. That's why I say they're very loyal and all of those things. They get their heart broken. Leos also deal with disappointment. They deal with dishonor and all of those things. Okay, all of that affects the heart. All of that affects the body. All of that also affects the chakras. So this is why Leos have a lot of issues with the heart. Heart attack, heart disease, all of that. Not just Leos. Of course, wherever you have major aspects of Leo. What I'm saying is be mindful, because Leos have very huge tempers. All right, they don't have the hugest, they don't have the worst temper of the zodiac, but they have one of the worst tempers of the zodiac. But they overexert themselves. So you're talking about a lot of strain in your neck, in your face, and all of that, which also puts a lot of strain on the heart. So that's why I say the yelling and the screaming, it could be at higher self because Leos are having fun. Sometimes the yelling and the screaming at lower self because there's some drama or they're arguing or something like that. Go back to a lion showing their teeth, putting a lot of expression into their face. And that's why I say Leos can be very dramatic, because they just make all kinds of faces, and they're really good actors. Because they're very just dramatic with their face expressions and things like that, especially like Leo ascendants. Those are people who just like, they can't hide their expression when anything's going wrong or when anything's going right. You know, and also those are people who can't keep a surprise. They can't keep a secret because it's all in their face. All that is Leo, okay? But Leos, be mindful of that. Or anybody who has major aspects to Leo. Or anybody who, I would say, if you have Leo in the 5th house, or whatever you have in the 5th house, specifically if you have like Capricorn in the 5th house, if you have an earth sign in the 5th house, be mindful of your heart and be mindful of what you're eating, especially if you have Taurus in the 5th house. Very rich foods and all of that stuff, be mindful all this month, because that goes back to the time frame and the time of year that we're at. The time of year is what? Fried foods and things like that. So it's always going back to your body, but it's also going back to the time of year it is. And this is the summertime. So it's just telling you to be mindful of that. You guys. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to think of everything. All together though, the next 3 days. All right, I'm going to go back to this new moon. The next 3 days is a really good time for you to meet somebody new. Whether it's a new friend, try a new technique on something, try a new project, start something new, a new relationship, a new job, which is why I say there might be some hiring and firing. Some people might be leaving their job. Some people might be starting a new job. Some people might be leaving their relationship. Some people might be starting a new relationship. Peace and love, Andre. Excuse me. So that's why I say be open. To change, because that goes back to, if I'm feeling myself, If I know I'm the superstar of the zodiac, if I know I'm thriving and I'm just doing what I do and I'm just shining, right? I'm going to attract new people, and I'm also going to walk into some great opportunities. If I'm not feeling myself, if there's one little bit of, I would say fear, if there's one little bit of doubt in myself, I'm going to walk into a situation where I'm going to be scared, or there's stage fright, or there could potentially be drama, or somebody can take away from my light. And so I would say this is a time to walk into places where there are people that are going to celebrate you. Okay, because there are going to be people who are going to try to take away from you. And you have to know who is who. So that's why you have to have wisdom when you go through the crowd all this month. You have to have wisdom, which is your experience of what have you learned before, especially when you're talking about new people. And I've said this, it's not that many people in the world, okay? You've met everybody, believe me, okay? And so since you've met everybody, because everybody is of one sign, and that doesn't just condense everybody to their sign, it's pretty much saying you've met everybody, pretty much if you've met every sign. You pretty much know the other sign. You pretty much know how they're going to behave on one end or the other. So if you've met a Libra, you've met an Aries. You've met an Aries, you've met a Libra. You've met a Scorpio, you've met a Taurus. You've met every sign already. And so now it's what do you do with your experience, and what would you do or have you done the last time? And that goes back to your birth chart. What are your patterns with this sign? And that's why it's important to know where every sign is in your chart. So when you're around that sign of that kind of person, it doesn't make you prejudge them. It lets you just know this is where they are in my chart. So this is how I might need to move, or this is how I might need to think. And if that sign is a sign that naturally challenges you, it lets you know, boom. Now, I ain't trying to fight, but I'm ready. When you're around that kind of person. But a challenge doesn't have to mean a bad thing. A challenge can simply mean, what about you can make me better? You get what I mean? Everything, you always win. You've never lost before. You are always right. You've never been wrong before. You've just been conditioned. All of us have. And so a lot of us don't know how we really feel about anything. And a lot of us, like I say, are scared to speak our truth because we've been conditioned about what's right and what's wrong. All right? What's here and what's there. What's blue and what's red. We've been conditioned about everything, so everybody's scared to be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong because right is right around the corner. The correction is so blissful. At the same time, what is the correction? Because everything is subjective. So this is how you get closer to yourself, you guys. Stop being in a box of what you've been taught. Pack your bags properly with what you've been taught, but be open to different things and be able to look out of different windows. Use your animal properly, because part of you is divine and part of you is animal. And you have to be able to embrace your animal self to really, really get to know the divine part of you. So you got to know what you would say, do, and all of that in the worst case scenario. And a lot of people are scared to do that. A lot of us, like I say, are scared to be wrong. We scared to say something or speak our truth. We scared of clearing a room. I'll clear a room so fast it'll make your head spin because I'm on my team. And we have to understand that if ain't nobody else on your team, you're on your team. And you don't need anybody in front of you, and you don't need anybody behind you. You know what I mean? You need yourself because you don't want to be a baby. You don't want to always be led. And you don't want to get drained out being somebody else's leader. And so that's why I say master yourself. Don't be anybody else's slave, but don't allow anybody else to enslave themselves and off of you, and take off of your energy and take away from your journey, which a lot of us allow that. Goes back to that dishonor, goes back to those makeups and breakups where a lot of friendships are going to be changing. A lot of relationships are possibly going to be ending because of lack of honor, because of lack of loyalty, because somebody didn't keep their word, because somebody didn't express their truth. And so that's why I say it's very important to do those things and embrace what your truth is. You're not wrong if you don't want to be with that person anymore. You're wrong when you didn't give them a choice of whether they still wanted to be with you, or when you say, I want to see other people. I still want to see you. You're wrong when you don't allow them a choice. Now you've made them a slave. And we have to understand when we make other people slaves, anytime you don't give somebody a choice. And that's what makes us, and that's what separates us from animals. And that's what separates us from our animal self is the right to choose. And so a lot of people are way more polygamous or, and in situations like that more than they think they are, but nobody gave them a right to choose, which is why a lot of people turn their nose up to different lifestyles. All right, because they've been a part of certain things and they weren't given their right to choose. A lot of us still deal with violations in our life because we weren't given our right to choose. And so it's not that somebody wants to be friends with this person and do this or do that. Did you give me my right to choose on what I wanted for myself. And some of us try to choose for other people, and this is where the regret and the resentment and all that comes from. So you got to understand that. And when people do you wrong, you have to respect their right to choose. It's their choice. And you have to love them where they at, or leave them where they at, or whatever you're going to do with the situation, and be okay with it. And so at these crossroads that a lot of us are going to be at coming up this month, you got to be able to have confidence to take this way or this way. Because either way is going to send you somewhere, and it's going to get you to a destination. Just one way is going to take a little bit longer. And one way is pretty much just going to be your detour. And you're not going to know until you know. And so I always say, just use as much wisdom as you have. How much do you have in your account? How much have you learned from your pain? And a lot of us don't learn from our pain because we've been conditioned by our pain. And so you have to know what's your pain tolerance as we're going through these transits, and knowing what you can and cannot take with you. And a lot of us don't know ourselves. And a lot of us don't know our heart. So we don't know how much we can take or how much we cannot take until we're in a situation. And, you know, it's a sad thing when we waste our time. All right, and when I talk about time, we're in the last degree of Cancer season because it's about to be Leo season. But when we're talking about time, Sun is opposing Saturn, which represents time. So what do you do that gets you excited? All right, who do you spend your time around that gets you excited? And how much time, you know, are you wasting or spending? You know, because it's not real, but at the same time it is. Because all of us are born with a certain amount of breaths in our vehicle. All right, so just like a car, you know, it got this many miles on it. It can go this many miles before it start cutting up, or before it cut off, before you need another one, right? The same thing with your body. You only have so many breaths, which is why all of us live different time lengths, correct? When you're looking for your bliss, everything is the same message, different method. So even in our death, same message, different method. We all gonna die different. Same message is enjoying the quality of your life now. So I've said that before, so you can have a quality death. And so it's what you do that gets you really, really ready for life every day, who you're around and where you go. Those are the things that put quality into your life. If it's not a place you want to be, you're in violation to the self, and you'll feel it. How am I in violation to the self? Because you'll feel it with the self. When you're around and you're in these things that normally bring you interest and your body don't want to do it. When you went against yourself and you didn't stand up for yourself, or however, and your body mad at you later, and it's hard for you to rest at night, or you can't enjoy your favorite meal, something about it just ain't the same. Your body is going against you when you go against your body. And so that's why it's saying how you deal with yourself, your relationship with yourself. It's important. When people say, I'm mad at myself. Yeah. And so when I say express yourself, also express your beauty and things you love about yourself. And we got to think about how we talk to ourselves. How you talk to your hair, how you talk to your skin, how you talk to your body. Your body and your hair and your skin can hear those things. And a lot of us don't think about that. You just get up every day and you dress it up. But do you communicate to the self? You know, do you tell yourself you love yourself and all of those things? It's important, you know, and so be thankful for your skin and don't talk against it. Don't compare yourself to other people, which a lot of people do that as well. You got to enjoy yourself the way you are and the way you were created. And that's why I say we're all made perfect. We're just not without flaws. You know, it's things that we can all work on, but you're in the physical and the way you are in your totality. And we need to learn to explore that and enjoy that and embrace that. All right. So, all is well, you guys. Reach out to me for your new moon in Leo. This was just an overview. Everybody's is different when you do your individual session, when you do your individual reading. I'm going to be doing the new moon in Leo sessions between now and Wednesday because that's the main energy of it. The new moon energy does last longer, but the main energy, while it's still new before it starts to wax, is going to be between now and the 22nd, which is Wednesday. After the 22nd, it's going to start to wax. And it's not going to be a Leo moon anymore. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a different phase. And the moon is going to be in Virgo by then. So that's why I say jump on the Leo energy and get your reading during the time of the energy when it's best, so you can actually see what's happening. You can still get it afterwards. It's just going to be we're going to be looking in the past, and we're going to be talking about what happened on this day or this time frame. All is well, you guys. But reach out to me for your session. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to go through it with you. Check me out on my YouTube because I'm definitely going to be posting this, and I also have another video that I'm going to be adding to it about Mercury being direct and going more thoroughly through the new moon in Leo. Enjoy you guys' night. Peace and love.